Hey everybody, happy Sunday to you. Currently for us, it is Saturday, October 10th. 2 days before my birthday, 30th birthday.
Dan on Monday.
30, also birthday in quarantine, which is sad.
Oh, so well. Sad.
Oh well. First of all, Hope, tell us about your health at this point.
I'm feeling pretty good, thankfully. I think I had a pretty mild case of coronavirus. It just kind of seemed like a sinus infection that also had no taste or smell. That's probably the thing that had me go get tested was the loss of taste and smell. But I've not had a fever or a cough or any of the more drastic symptoms, so I'm very thankful for that. I have a little bit of taste and smell back, but that's still like the lingering symptom. And we pray that it stays that way and that Dan and the boys continue to stay healthy. But yeah, very thankful for the mild case that I seemed to have and that it wasn't worse.
Just one announcement. Because of quarantine, we will not be able to be at the retreat, which is a big bummer.
Guys, it was like the worst 2 weeks we could be quarantined.
It was a bad 2 weeks.
So sad.
So, but we'll be praying for you, and I know it'll be a great time, and we'll have leaders and student leaders who will be stepping up and helping out to make it a great weekend. So I look forward to hearing about it, and I know it will be great. But I appreciate all of you who wrote in questions for today, and we did look them over to make sure that we had some coherent answers. However, we have put them in a bowl, so they will be at random, and we will be asking and answering them together. So without further ado, we will begin. So the first question is an important one. What, in your opinion, is the best Disney original movie? The correct answer... Disney Channel, which I have no idea what that means. But the correct answer is High School Musical, the first one. Because it's just great. Great music, very singable.
I actually probably would pick that one too.
Yeah, I mean, it's the obvious answer.
Disney Channel movies.
Like what? I don't even know any others.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a long time ago, so I don't even know if they're probably on Disney Plus. Like there was one about basketball.
That's High School Musical.
No. No. Another one about a girl who plays basketball. I don't know. There's some good ones. I'd have to look on Disney Plus to know the names. Because I was going to also say High School Musical.
I should have looked it up beforehand, but there was only one answer. So.
Yes, that is a good one. And I feel like you guys are aware of that one too. So
of course.
Helps us feel a little more not aged.
Love it. Your turn. Yes.
Ooh, hard one. What is the first thing you would ask Jesus when you get to heaven?
Mine would be, why did you create mosquitoes? They have been eating us alive, even in the chilliness. Yeah. My boys, myself, my wife, they are so frustrating, angering.
No, I feel like my gut instinct would be a question that I could kind of guess the answer to, so I don't know if that counts. But just ask about all the suffering in the world and why it was necessary.
That's much more
deep,
serious. Yeah.
Important.
I don't know about important, but yes.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. How have you grown together since you met and now raising a family? I would say, go ahead. No, I insist.
I feel like we have become a good team.
Yes.
And I think that's really critical. Maybe just critical for us, but I really enjoy seeing, especially in the harder moments of life, the way that we just naturally connect and work together and kind of know where our strengths are and how to both live into our strengths, which often is the opposite person's weaknesses. And it's always really encouraging to me when something happens and we're like, okay, we got this, we can do it.
Yeah. A good example would be in 2017, we had been married for 4 years at that time. And a bunch of the people around us, our friends, had begun having children. And we were not ready to have children at that point. And so we went on an Alaskan cruise. But our point was that we were just in it together. We were on the same page, and we were going to, it was us against the world in a minor way.
A vacation.
So that's an example,
Sure.
I would say. And then children coming along, just being in that together and teaming up together, having conversations about that, getting on the same page, etc.
Yeah, you've got to be good at communication before having kids, I think.
Right.
Because it's totally different once kids are in the picture.
Agreed.
And hard. I mean, I don't think we're perfect at it, but I do feel
I
like
would disagree. I think we're perfect at it.
I do feel like the time that we had before they came really was a huge benefit, because we at least had a good foundation set before they came along.
Right. Good. Moving along.
We have all these lingering papers.
Oh, well, we have to move faster because
Oh.
we don't want this to be an hour and a half.
Okay. Oh, I don't know that I have an answer to this. You have to include the same worship song in every set forever.
Yeah.
What is it?
Build My Life.
Oh, you do love that one.
Well, I wouldn't say I love it, although it is nice, but there's just different aspects of it that you can include, like the chorus or the bridge.
Change it up.
Change it up, yeah. That was the one that I thought of.
I don't have a good answer.
For Willem Hansen, I thought about How He Loves, because he hates that song.
Yeah,
And I thought that would be good, but that one's like 10 minutes
we
long.
don't want a worship song to be a torture
Right.
method.
Yes. Shout out to Pat Barrett, who wrote Build My Life. If you were an ice cream flavor, which one and why? And it can't be because it's your favorite.
I don't know. I would probably pick one of my favorites, which would be like Reese's or peanut butter chocolate. I just feel like it brings a lot of joy, and it's a lot of people's favorite flavors put into an ice cream, and so I would want to bring people joy.
Love it. Mine would be Moose Tracks, because there are lots of nuggets to me, but you can't see them on the surface. But as you really dig in,
This is a deep answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
My turn.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to take the turn. Favorite vacation memory?
Alaskan cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. We've done a lot of trips.
Yes.
I guess you'd call them vacations through our marriage. We really liked.
Yes.
We like making memories together. I would say more than big gifts, although Dan loves gifts. But I still think we lean toward doing a memory together.
Children has made that more difficult.
Yeah, we haven't been able to do nearly as many, but that's what happens when you have twins right off the
It's
bat.
true.
But yeah, Alaskan cruise was amazing.
My favorite animal in the entire world are orcas, killer whales, and we saw them in person.
Like pretty close.
Like pretty close
A lot.
in the wild, and it was amazing. That would probably be one of my favorite
That's cool.
memories. I think this is too. Yes. Do you spend more time in the Word together or separate? This was a great question, and I don't know if my answer is a good answer, but we spend more time separately. And I think children has helped that because we've read Bible stories together. We started doing that. But definitely more time separately.
We do have, I think, a good habit of praying together at night before we go to bed. We trade off whose turn it is to pray out loud, but I've always loved doing that. I think that's really cool, but yeah, I would agree.
Currently, in 2020, you're on the odd evenings. I'm on the evens. Switches on January 1st. Because then,
I never remember.
On October 31st and November 1st, Hope has to pray 2 nights in a row. Gets to pray 2 nights in a row, so we switch every January 1st.
Yep. What qualities have you seen your spouse grow or develop in your relationship? I know mine.
Go.
Dan is not naturally a very patient person. He doesn't like to admit it, but it's true. But he has become so much more patient through our years together. When did we start dating? 2011?
More patient, not patient.
No, but also patience is something that comes pretty naturally to me. So that's another way that I think we balance each other well. Because it's very natural for me. I mean, not always, but much more often.
Patience and compassion.
Yeah, compassion too.
I have not grown in compassion.
Yes, you have. Think back to 2011, Dan.
Yeah, that's
He's grown a lot in compassion. Those, definitely the two that you've grown in.
Yeah. Hope in her spontaneity, and also treating herself. I love treating myself, but she does not.
I don't
She
feel
feels
like I have
guilty.
permission.
Yeah. So that I feel like you've grown in
That's
that.
true.
I've encouraged you in that.
That's a very.
I like when you read questions because then I can drink my beverage.
Intentional things you do to build your relationship amidst certain factors like kids, work, etc. I think different seasons of life, we've done it differently. I think trips are a way that we like to grow closer and make memories together, but we already said that doesn't really happen with kids nearly the same. Or if we do go on a trip, it's not relaxing or vacation-y.
Yes.
We try to do date nights when we're able
nights.
to. We were supposed to have a date night for Dan's birthday today. Had to be canceled, such bummer. And so I think date nights are a good way.
Yep. We are very intentional and rigid in our schedule of putting the boys to bed at 7 p.m. So then we have a solid couple hours to ourselves.
And I think Dan is really good. It's a learning curve, but he's good at when he's home on the weekend, he's home and he's not trying to do work.
Gotten better at that.
Yeah, for sure. And so that's a real gift, I think, too, of trying to make the weekend our family time. So
turning off my phone 1 day a week, that's a good way to do it.
So if you ever can't get a hold of Dan, you might be mad, but his family thanks him for it because it's really important.
Yes, and I'm happy as well. Because
Not that he doesn't love you guys.
Phones are the devil.
Okay, not as drastic.
No. All right. Lot of baby questions. I just threw them into one thing. So, what do you think the gender is? Girl.
Yeah, I think girl, but I don't know. Obviously.
Will we keep it a surprise? No.
We did last time, but we're not this time.
Well, yeah, we didn't know either. We didn't keep it from people.
It was a surprise to everyone.
Which we were supposed to find out next week on Wednesday.
In like 4 days.
But we're in quarantine, so it got pushed to the following week.
For me, that was one of the saddest things that happened.
Yes. Show up on October 21st, Wednesday night.
We'll know.
And we will know, and we will share. How are you feeling about it coming?
Really excited.
I feel excited. I feel at peace.
Mm-hmm.
I think our family will be fun.
We will be outnumbered, which is a little terrifying.
Yes.
But I think with the boys, I didn't know what was coming, so I was pretty nervous. With this baby, I still don't know what's coming, but at least we have an idea of like kids and what our family looks like more than just the two of us. And so it's just really fun to know how much we love the boys and then how much we'll get to
Right. The boys are excited. They think it's a baby sister.
They're obsessed
They
with
are
saying baby sister.
Yes.
If it's a brother, they're gonna have a big learning curve.
It's gonna be a change.
Yeah.
That is gonna have to happen in their brain. Can we buy it UK clothes? Absolutely not.
Well, I mean, you can. I just don't think Dan would ever put the clothes on.
Yeah, they'll go to Goodwill. What are potential names? You will never know.
Yeah, we do keep that secret.
Yep.
Till the birth.
Yep.
We don't know the name.
If we're not willing to tell our families, then we're not going to tell you.
Yeah. What are your testimonies?
That's a long question, but a good question.
Yeah.
Do you want to give the short version?
Mm-hmm.
Short version for me, grew up in church, had some difficult times in high school and early college. That really made me realize that I'm not in control, that I need to rely on God in my decision making and in my life. Did not think I was going to be a youth pastor until my sophomore year of college. And God brought that to me, and here I am today.
Funny story, we had talked a lot, school year older than Dan. We had talked a lot in college about like him switching majors, but we weren't dating, so we were truly just friends. But I remember like some deeper conversations that we had about that. God was probably laughing at us like, little do you know, you're going to do that together.
Indeed.
That was a good short version.
Yeah, thank you.
I also grew up in the church. My dad was a pastor. He didn't pastor a church for a super long time, but was in that world. So really grew up pretty goody two shoes, if I'm labeling myself that negative label. Went to college, had a couple big life things happen that just helped me recognize a lot of insecurities in myself, and just that life wasn't as good and perfect as I had kind of grown up with it, and that there is sin in the world and just a part of life, and learning how to lean on God despite that. Is that a good way of describing it? So, yeah, I think that's a very quick version.
Love it. I think that's a good version. What relationship hurdles can follow you into marriage?
Everything.
Lots of things.
I think we assume you get married and everything is perfect all of a sudden, and that's not at all true.
Right.
In fact, it probably is worse for a lot of people.
Maybe, yeah, probably. Things like finances, how you spend your money, where your priorities with your time. Your time is not your own anymore. Sharing that. Goals and supporting each other in those, and dreams on a large scale, things like that. More nitty gritty. No starfish sleeping in bed. You have to share, and you have to have your own side. What has Jesus been teaching each of you in 2020? So we pick a word for the year at the beginning of the year. Maybe some of you do that as well. My word for the year is steady. So what I was thinking in January is just being that steady presence, kind of consistent. No matter, like, there was just a lot of change happening. We were going to buy a house. We were going to try to get pregnant. There was a lot of change at the church, like with staff and stuff like that. So just kind of being the steady constant in that. And I feel like I feel like I've lived into that in a lot of ways. So,
but you've had to remind yourself of that.
I had to remind myself Jesus has been good about that. Yeah.
My word was fearless, meaning more of like having less fear throughout the year. And it's been a good year to practice that, man. I do tend to be a fearful person, that's my leaning, I guess, naturally. So I think Jesus has been teaching me just the need to trust him, and that he, he already knew I'd be getting tested for coronavirus on October, whatever day that was, 6th, and that I'd be positive, and, he knew all of this stuff, and he is in control, and it's all going to be okay. Meaning, he is going to walk with us through that. I don't mean it's going to be perfect, I just mean he's been there, done that, he's with us.
And you've been put in situations where you've had to be the calm kind of anxiety, bringing that down in other people, which I think has been good. Yeah. So if you don't choose a word for the year, it might be something to consider, because we've found it to be kind of just praying into that, and then that just becomes a reality in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and it's cool. I don't think we just pick it out of thin air. I think it really does kind of come to. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's like so clear. Oh, this word is in my head over and over. Other times, it's not quite as clear, but it's still been cool to see the way it's played out.
How do you spiritually lead someone in a relationship?
It's a good question.
Just challenging them to trust Jesus, encouraging both yourself and the other person to be in the Word.
Which even, I feel like there's definitely been seasons where we've each kind of been the spiritual leader, but I know, like, if I see Dan in the Word in the morning, or if he shares something that he read, like, that's very encouraging to me, even if he doesn't say, like, Hope, you should be in the Word more. Just seeing him do that is like, oh, that makes me want to make sure I'm stepping up and doing my part and learning like he is.
Yep. And I think our roles certainly have changed.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been that for each other in different times of life. So
I think it also looks like having deeper conversations, even if it's just about like the world or culture. I think being willing to have those discussions together can also be a way of being a spiritual, like building spiritual leadership.
Oh, love that.
Mm-hmm. We're almost done, guys.
We are.
What did dating look like for you all? Well, we met at Asbury. We, like I said, I was a year ahead of Dan, so he came in, and he actually started music ed as well, which was my degree, or my program. So we were in choir together. My favorite story is when you roll your eyes, but I think you secretly love it.
I do.
First day of choir, I looked across the way and I saw Dan. He looked really old. People always have thought that you look older than your age. And I thought he was like a transfer in, like that he was not just a freshman, but I remember thinking he was very attractive.
Still feels that way.
Yes. But then when we left that night, actually walked out together, talking, and I remember kind of walking away and being like, we're just going to be friends, and that's okay. And it wasn't because I didn't like your personality. I think I just felt like it wasn't a good fit, like, for me to be, like, crushing on him. But it probably helped because then we were friends for a year and a half. He dated another girl, and I knew them and was totally supportive, like, thought that they were going to get married, and then they broke up, and a mutual friend kind of asked both of us if we were interested, and went from there. Anyway, so we dated for a little over 2 years before we got married. While we were at Asbury students there, I had already graduated by the time we got married, but yeah, it was good. It was hard. I think, I feel like we worked through a lot of those hurdles before we got married, which was a blessing for us, I think. Helped our first year to be really fun and smoother because of that. But part of Dan's testimony is just him kind of figuring out who he was, and we walked through a lot of that together, and so it was definitely not smooth sailing. If you want more details, I'd love to tell you more later, but we stuck together. I think the Lord knew that we were going to be good life partners, and he walked through it with us, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
if you could meet anyone, who would you meet? Is this alive or in? I don't know why I'm asking you a question you can't answer.
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
Let's say alive.
Okay, alive. I would meet. Well, I've always said. One time, one of our friends said that he would love to have dinner with Barack Obama, and I completely agree. I think he's a cool guy. I think he would we would have great conversation.
Yeah, really intriguing conversation.
He's an intriguing man.
Because you don't have the same beliefs on everything, so it would be really
Right.
cool to discuss with him.
Right. So I would say Barack Obama.
Well, I read Michelle Obama's book, and it was really intriguing. I feel like she'd also be a good one to discuss.
We should invite them out for dinner.
Yeah.
Double date.
Double date. I don't know. I feel like there are other people
They
too.
would say yes.
My first thought was a dead person, which is Mr. Rogers. I feel like it'd be intriguing to talk to him. I don't know.
Michelle Obama and Mr. Rogers. That would be a good dinner. Having Mr. Rogers, the Obamas, us, and one other person, Tom Hanks. That would be my
You set it up.
ideal dinner. Love it.
2 more. How do you have healthy arguments in a relationship? That's a good one.
It's different for every couple.
Because personalities are so different.
Yes, I would say be willing to have arguments. That's something that we deal with because Hope especially is non-confrontational.
And yeah.
So, which I would say probably I don't love conflict either. I'm not like looking for conflict necessarily, but I think
like if we were to start to fight, I would cry before I would yell.
Yes, I would get angry.
Yeah. So we've definitely
it's not
had
a
to
good
work
combination necessarily.
No, but I just don't. We're not fighters though either.
Right.
So we have conflict.
We're lovers, not fighters.
We have conflict, but I wouldn't say that we necessarily argue or fight.
Yes.
That's just not a healthy way for us to do it, I guess.
Right.
But I also know of a lot of couples where it is totally healthy for them to argue and fight, and that's great.
Yeah.
And I think they've learned how to, not walk away and be willing to talk about it in the moment. And so I think that's for sure part of it for us is learning the right moment to bring it up. I've done that wrong a lot where, like Dan's already stressed about something else, and then I'm like, we got to talk about this now. So learning the right moments to bring things up, and I think you also have to just have a confidence in your relationship to know, like, we still love each other. We're going to make this work somehow, even if it's a really hard discussion or argument.
More about learning personalities probably, and just knowing your significant other or your spouse or whatever.
And you'll do it wrong a lot before you do it right, and you'll go back and forth. But
or friend.
Yeah.
Friends argue.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it can be healthy.
Yep. All right, last question. It's a good one.
Okay.
What or how has your spouse changed you?
I think we kind of shared this a little bit.
We did. Just Hope's empathy, compassion, patience has encouraged me to delve into that as well in a lot of ways.
Dan's a good go-getter and makes decisions, and I'm trying to think of the other. I feel like there's one other descriptor, but so he's helped me do that a lot quicker and healthier, and
Yep.
I feel like hopefully we both changed each other for good in a lot of ways, but
Love it. Thank you for talking with me.
happy to.
And thank you for asking questions. Loved that. And again, sorry that we couldn't be with you today. But
Shoot us a text if you have any thoughts about
yes. would love to hear from you. And again, those of you who are going on the retreat, there are 72 of you, I
Wow.
think, which is awesome. So you will get the schedule and some other things early this week. Probably I'll send out an email with all that information.
Know that we're there in spirit and praying for you guys, and
Yep.
just wish we could be there in person.
Yep. But it'll be great. We wish you well. Have a great Sunday. Ciao for now. Deuces.
Oh my.